What's up, guys? You're watching Johnny Fabs, and today the hatch is getting a brake upgrade. So today we're going to be changing the front brakes over to some drilled and slotted rotors with some new pads. The pads right now are worn out and the brake rotors are warped, so we're going to go ahead and change them. And so let's get to it. Got the car up in the air, going to take off the tires, the lug nuts. I realized I forgot the special tool up in the car, so if you have a tool in your car, make sure you take that out before you get it up in the air. Got the rim off, so now we're going to be taking off this 12mm bolt. The caliper should slide up. There's just a pin, no bolt here. And then there's two 17mm caliper bracket bolts. That should pull off so we can get our rotor off after we take these two Phillips headed screws off. So let's get to it. Now if you're just going to be doing the pads, you just pull that pin, tilt that up and replace your pads. But since we're going to be replacing the pads and the rotors, we're going to keep going. Alright, for the next step, I'm going to use this hammer impact screwdriver. So when you hit it, it turns, because these bolts will strip out the Phillips head. So make sure it's going the right way. And then it should spin out. Once you get those two, the rotor should slide off. It's freed up. If it is seized down like this one, go ahead and take a hammer, put it on the back side, and it should come off. And there you go, you got your old rotor off. You can tell this one's been on there a while, it's all rusted out. The back side's pretty scarred up. So let's go ahead and put the new ones on. Alright, so here's the rotor. The most important thing is, before you put the new ones on, you want to take some brake cleaner and brake clean all this off, because they put a coating, an oil coating on this to prevent it to rust. But if you leave that on there, it can get into your pads and mess it up. So we're gonna go ahead and spray it off. So just take some brake clean. You can get this at your local hardware store, and just get all that off. Then once you spray it all off, go ahead and reinstall them. Then put these two Phillips back in. Go ahead and put a little bit of Antiseize or some kind of grease. That way it's easier to take off when you go to redo your brakes again. Here's the Antiseize I use. You can use basically any grease or lubricant, but Antiseize works. You don't need a lot, because this stuff, if you ever used it, it gets all over the place. It doesn't want to come off. So just put a little bit on there. So I got the caliper bracket. I'm just gonna clean it off. Same stuff, brake cleaner. And then anywhere that the pad rides, you want to add some grease to it so it slides easier. And the brake kit did come with grease, so go ahead and use the stuff provided. Go ahead and reinstall your bracket just the way it came off. Reinstall your 17mm bolts. I put Antiseize on these too, so it'll make the job easier next time. Alright, so once you get your caliper bracket on, go ahead and put your brake pads on. You want to apply grease right on these sliding points. That way they don't bind up. And then once you get your brake pads on, go ahead and compress the cylinder on the brake caliper itself. Go ahead and use a C-clamp and clamp it down. We're going to do that, show you right here. So if you guys are wondering how to compress the cylinder on the brake caliper, just take your old brake pad and a C-clamp, and then go ahead and tighten this down, and it should compress your Once it's fully back, go ahead and take off the C-clamp, and then you're ready to put the caliper back on your bracket. So we got the caliper back on, just that 12 millimeter bolt, and you're all set. Just hinge it down, put that 12 millimeter bolt in, and then you're all set. Then your brakes should be done. I'm not gonna do the other side because it's the exact same thing. And so here's a look at it. Looks pretty good. Drilled and slotted. The new pads. I did realize that it might have not been the warped rotors, because it looks like we have some play on the tie rod. So gonna have a video soon of changing that, but gonna go ahead and break these brake pads in and new rotors. They give you directions when you buy them. It just said 5 aggressive. I'll just put it in a picture right now, so look at that. Alright guys, hope you liked this video. Please hit that like button if you did. Please subscribe if you want to follow the build or just want more content like this. And peace.